There are 145 jobs that we have lost here, and we have all worked hard here. You have the human resources director
why have
here.
You lost them, man? Why have you not succeeded?
Because the company made Open Gate. The parent company has chosen to sell off this to, as you did with the Bibb Corporation, you sold off the company as an investment firm to make money, and the company decided that they preferred to make money as an international company, not an international investment firm, not to save these jobs.
You have failed at your effort to keep these jobs here, haven't you? You failed, and
you have not given me another. You know something?
Taxpayers' money. You've wasted taxpayers' money.
No, that money is all going to be repaid.
Is it really?
It is.
Are you sure?
Yes, I am.
How can you
Absolutely,
assure me
because they sold the machine.
I have actually talked to the company. I have actually been here. I was here within 10 minutes of the announcement here. I wasn't here a week and a half later to have a press conference with people. I actually care about what happens in Eastern Connecticut. We waited an hour for you to come here for a press conference in front of a company that is not even Fusion. Fusion is up there. This is Caristar. This is not Fusion. Yes, we lost this company, but not through the failure of either the governor, the town, or the USW.
I know.
And I ran a family business for 40 years. And sometimes people who are in business make decisions on the bottom line, not for the plant itself. And if you understood the paper company and the paper industry, you would know that Paperworks out of Indiana took possession of this equipment in order to decrease the size of the market. Decrease the size. And I would have appreciated if you had called me and said, hey, is there anything I can do? If you are a businessman who's interested in jobs in Eastern Connecticut, I would have appreciated if you had reached out to me. As the Republican first selectman in Lisbon, in Franklin, and the Democratic first selectwoman in Lebanon, and the first selectman in Basra, and the mayor in Norwich, all reached out to me.
When I'm governor, ma'am, I will reach out to you, but I'm not governor right now. We have a governor right now.
But you are a businessman who is interested in helping to save jobs, and you have not given an idea here today that would have done that.
You and the governor
have no economic development committee in Sprague. There is no economic development committee in this town. Maybe that has something to do with it. There's
ma'am, you failed. How can you stand here in front of the TV camera?
Mr. Foley.
When you failed. You've lost 140
Mr. Foley.
jobs. Yes.
I'm Rich Rell, I'm the president of this local here.
Yes.
I've been employed here for almost 29 years.
Yeah.
I've been through...
Are you upset you've lost your job?
Am I upset? Yeah. 145 people have lost their jobs, okay? We went through 6 years of concessions to keep this place running.
I know.
Okay?
Right.
We just signed a 6-year contract March 15th.
Right.
30 days later, they tell us that they're closing?
So
you're a businessman. It doesn't happen like that.
Ma'am, you say you have the word from the management, and he says that he can't trust what they say. So, listen, you just failed here.
You're talking about
You've
two
got
different
the wrong policies.
You're not listening to the man. The man is not saying management.
We need a new direction.
None of us.
We need new policies, and that's what I'll bring.
And one of the policies here that has worked very well, which you may not be aware of, is all personal property does not have...
Worked very well, and you lost 140 jobs?
Because Open Gate made a decision to decrease the size of the paper industry in the United States, and they sold the equipment, not because they weren't making a profit. If you knew, they have 17 days of back orders, which is completely unusual in this company. The people
I beg to
at
differ
this...
with you. I simply, you just apparently don't have the business experience to understand. People don't close perfectly good plans.
Mr. Foley.
Yes.
Okay? When we have a 17-day backlog, okay, that's a lot for us. Yeah, and like I said,
sound like
this
a lot
company,
to me.
You know what? This company's been here since 1962.
I know. So why are they packing up and leaving?
Why is the state of Connecticut losing so many jobs?
Exactly.
But this company didn't sell the property. They sold the paper machine to take us out of the loop. They didn't sell the property. They didn't sell the land.
Right.
They didn't sell the building. They sold the machine.
If they were making money,
they're making money. They were making money.
No, they weren't.
Yes, they were.
I promise you, if they
selling machines. Have you seen the financial statements? They have. They see the financial statements every
once a month. Once a month.
You failed, ma'am. You failed, and the governor failed to keep these jobs here.
She didn't fail. But I'll tell you right now.
Questions from the media. money to.
You're a businessman. You're a businessman.
That's right.
And you closed mills down.
Yep.
Have you ever made a decision?
I have never closed a mill down. So
Have you
I didn't close the mill. A subsequent owner closed it. So please get your facts straight.
Well, that's why I want you to get your facts straight.
No,
because when you come here, I can tell you about 145 people's lives just went out of tubes.
I know, and that's why I'm here.
And I can sit here and say, I'm going to run for governor too.
It's a shame. And it's policy driven. It's the result of the policies of this governor and maybe the first select woman.
I think it was corporate greed. I thought it was corporate greed. That's right. I think it was corporate greed that took us out. Adam
mentioned always, the jobs have gone.
You don't sign a 6-year contract and 30 days later tell the people we're closing the doors.
Right.
You must have knew about that a year ago, at least a year ago.
Okay, so you're saying that they weren't telling the truth. So your first select woman just said that she believes, that she's been assured by this management team that this woman's going to get payback. How's that consistent, ma'am? Are you really that naive?
We're talking about two different management teams, exactly.
Well, okay,
exactly.
but
You're
listen,
talking about two different groups of people. You're talking about Open Gate, which is the parent investment firm. I've talked with the people who pay the bills. Okay. That's who I talk to, is the regular workers and the management here at this mill, which you readily admit you have not talked to. You readily admit you don't even know this company. You readily admit that you did not talk to the union president or any of the workers here. You readily admit that. You readily admit that you did not reach out to the first selectman of town. You readily admit all of those things.
Why should I? I know what happened here.
I know, right?
I know what happened here.
Exactly.
You know what happened here. Do you understand the paper market?
He doesn't.
Do you understand the paper? No. Let's get to the bottom of what happened here.
Right.
I work here.
Don't worry about it.
I'm an employee.
His job.
I'm one of the employees that is affected by this loss.
I understand the jobs have left here.
This is a market-driven decision. This is not a decision of her, of Governor Malloy, or anyone else. If you understood the paper industry, plastic is overtaking cardboard. Day by day by day, the industry changes. I'm just telling you that.
This community has lost 100.
We have.
You don't care about that.
But please understand.
You want to blame people?
I don't want to blame people.
Hundreds of
I'm not blaming people. I'm not blaming people.
Malign management. Listen, you have failed because you've lost.
Listen.
And
these guys work their butts off.
Matter.
Every single day I watch them work. Me too. Her too. Anyone who's being affected by this worked our asses off to get this right. We did not cause this, as she did not. The market drove this business into this position, and that's when we should have had the help. The understanding
we'll agree to disagree on this one, but I think it's policy.
I think it's corporate.
Question two.
This is not the only group. These are not the only jobs leaving Connecticut.
Then go stand in front of someone else's property.
Can I ask one
Go stand somewhere else.
Moving forward. Part two of the process is there's a group of us employees, a small group, that wants to, and we've already made the agreement to buy the recycle part of this business. Because we have set up a community recycling program so that we work with local businesses to make sure that they're meeting the governor's new mandate for increased recycle, and to assure that we keep servicing the customers that have been with us and behind us. What would you do in order to help a group like that? 5 guys, no money, but willing to do the right thing and continue on and create jobs.
You taking a photo?
Sorry, no, I'm not.
It's just stopping the rigging.
First of all, you get rid of the business entity tax. This is a load on small business people who create 70% of the jobs in this country. It doesn't sound like a lot of money, but it's $250. It's very annoying, and it sends a signal that the government is not on your side. I'll get rid of it for businesses that are under 50 employees. We need to send signals out to the community that we're not going to continue loading you up with mandates, higher taxes for your employees and your executives, and all the other, and higher energy costs. This governor has driven up energy costs. Everybody's electric bill is higher, but particular businesses' electric bills are higher. For a plant like this, they use a lot of electricity. So you drive up their energy costs, all of a sudden they can't make money, and then all of a sudden, yeah, maybe the equipment's worth more than they can make here, and that's why they make decisions like this. So if you don't think this is policy driven, you don't understand how
the only thing I dislike about this whole conversation is bringing anyone that is here and affected into the process.
I
did
didn't
not.
invite you or these people here.
Understood. We didn't invite you either. But we're here to
Well,
talk to you because we want
it's
to
a
hear
public place.
what you have to offer,
Yeah.
and we want to hear. But
So I just
when you
started. I
come,
didn't interrupt you.
please make sure
work here.
that your facts are straight and that you're not blaming the wrong entity because we didn't do it. We
No,
didn't.
I'm just saying that collectively.
We are the guys that
Collectively,
60 days from
the
now,
town and the
we
government
will
have
have no
failed.
job.
Collectively, the town and
you
the
think that
state
the
town did not cause
have
it.
failed to keep these jobs.
The $250
That's a
business
fact.
entity tax
Sorry, it's
will
not a
save
fact.
money.
Tom, can you
And they
point-
will not, because these guys here worked every day. These guys here worked every day to save $500,000 in energy costs.
I just did. Governor Moy's increasing the cost of energy in Connecticut, which he's deliberately done. I'm sure had an impact on
Actually, they've
profitability of
saved
this business.
$500,000 in energy costs and $500,000 in sewer charges by the work that the union workers did here.
Absolutely.
That's absolutely what's happened here.
And with the
Absolutely.
Yes. All right, we got
Well, the permits, the permits have been.
Corporate welfare? Because they have a,
Yes.
puts you for 10 years.
Of course, it's from DECD, so it's not part of the First Five program, but far too many. Blame it on management. Don't blame it on policy. Don't blame it on the leadership. But we have a leader of the community here who's
You
not
have
accepting
management
failure.
that's here, and you have workers here, and I don't know their party affiliation. I think that for
Listen,
you
good
to
leaders.
say that it is Democrats, I can tell you that of the 145 workers, this is a very conservative town.
Okay,
That
good.
of these 145 workers,
Well, then they're
many of
probably
them
not-
are unaffiliated or Republican, and it doesn't matter. They still lost their job here
They
today.
can't be too happy with this governor.
And they are
And man,
they are happy with the governor, and they
responsible
are
leaders.
happy with town leaders because they recognize that this was market driven, that this was not a case, as you just said,
you're gonna have
as
to
your
defend
words,
yourself in this
as your
community, but-
words just said, that there are industries that reach maturation. This is one of those industries. Are we happy about it? No. Were we trying to get it down to the point where it was successful? Yes. And we all worked hard. We were acting as partners. I never went to Rich and said, could you tell me your party affiliation before I help you out?
Yeah.
I didn't go to the general manager that I've worked with, who I have a good relationship with, or the human resources director, and say, please tell me your
But,
party
ma'am, could
affiliation.
you let me
That's
speak for a
not
second?
something.
Could you let
That's
me
not
speak for a
something.
second?
Well, I would
Do you
like
talk
that.
over everybody?
You have not come here and ever reached out to any of the leaders here, either the union leaders, the business leaders, or the town leaders, to ask us what was going on here.
All right,
We
can
have
I
a
just say
story
something?
to tell.
Let me say something. The reason I mentioned Democrats is our state government is controlled by Democrats. The Senate, the House, and the governor. So the Democrats are running the show. And when policy decisions result in 140 jobs being lost in
And
the
they
community,
weren't. This wasn't a policy
I think
decision.
it
wasn't a policy
some sort of
decision.
accountability. But you as a local leader, ma'am, I'm surprised you're not accepting more responsibility for this. Responsible leaders accept responsibility and accountability.
And
you had something to do with this.
And
You had something to do with this. So to
I
sit here
think
and
they-
blame it,
She
go
had
ahead,
nothing
blame
to
it
do
on
with it.
everybody else.
With all due
Blame it
respect,
on management.
What would you do? What would you do if I came to
Are not well
you?
made here.
What would you
They
do
may
if
be
I
made
came to
well
you
elsewhere, but not
Wednesday,
here.
last Wednesday, and said, Mr. Foley, you're the new governor. That's what you're running for. The mill's closing. What do I do? I'm losing 145
Now
jobs.
it's
What
your
would you do?
fault.
Too
Now
late.
it's your fault.
It's too late by then. You've already annoyed people. You've already made decisions. They're already
It's too late.
Yeah.
It's never
Yeah.
never too late.
If I'd been elected in
Exactly.
2010, they'd still be here. I promise.
I don't think so.
There may very well
I
be
promise you.
examples
Because you know what? It's
of the
corporate
points you're
growth.
making, but
Corporate
this is
greed,
not
it's all
one
it
of
was.
them.
Correct.
So you're standing in front of the wrong sign
It
today.
is.
Because I'm taking
Right.
questions from the president.
Oh,
not from the workers,
Is there anything the town
Yeah, not from workers.
said she should accept responsibility? What could a town do in this instance? The manufacturing equipment under state law is exempt, so the tax bill is about $200 grand. The annual tax bill, they've had accommodations on sewage and they got their labor contract with pay freeze for a couple of years. So what should the town have done, or what could the town have done?
Well, I assume property taxes are an issue, other costs associated with being located in the town. But all I'm saying is that it failed. So the first select woman has failed in the effort to keep 140 jobs here, and she's not taking any accountability. She's blaming everybody else, management, maturing industry, so on. But ma'am, you had something to do with this, so take some
I am
accountability.
I'm not blaming the management
Well,
at
who are you
this
blaming?
mill. I'm saying
Who are you
that there
blaming?
was an
You're not
investment
accepting
firm
any blame
who
yourself.
decided that they
You're
would.
a leader in this community. You're not accepting
There
any
was an
accountability. Is there
investment
nothing you did
firm
wrong?
who,
Is
by
there
the way,
nothing you did wrong?
If you really knew what
Is
we
there
had here
nothing
in
you did
Sprague,
wrong
my
here?
first year here, I lowered
Are you
taxes.
blameless?
The next 3 years, they were flat. We went up 1 mil, total in 5 years of a 0.75
Okay,
mil
but
increase. So
are you
I've worked
blameless
very
for
hard
this?
to this. This was not
Are you
the
blameless?
fault
Are you saying
of
you had
either
nothing to do
local
with this?
union leaders or town leaders
saying
or
there's
state
nothing
leaders.
you could have done?
This particular mill
Boy.
closing was an investment firm decision to make money.
All
That's
right.
what
well,
this
that's
was.
your excuse, but it's not. Being
not an excuse,
It's not
it's a
being
fact.
a strong leader. Leaders
It's a
usually
fact.
accept some
a
responsibility when bad things happen.
It's a fact.
All right. Any other questions?
Yeah, I got one. I mean,
No, you're not
you
with the
came here.
press.
Yeah, so what? I
No,
work
but he is
here.
my vice president.
I work here. It's local. You came here, you made your talking point. Why are you here? Besides the talking point, why are you here?
Pointing out the impact of Governor Malloy's policies.
That's still talking
on
point.
jobs.
Why are you here as a business leader? Why are you here? You come here. I know. I understand. You're running for office and you're probably telling you what
Does
to
that
say.
not make sense to you? What I just said?
What did you say?
I said I'm here to point out the impact of Governor Malloy's
You really need
policies.
to point out the
on
impact
jobs
of my
and-
family. You have to
I'm
come
not
here and
here
tell
to
me.
talk. I didn't come here to talk to you. I'm talking to the press.
But he's the one impacted.
I know. I'm sympathetic. I'm
losing
sorry.
my
I started off
Yes.
saying what a tragedy it is for a town like this to lose 140 jobs.
But you never
So,
reached out
I've
to
already-
any of us. You never did. You never came to them. You never called him up. You never called me up. You never called the mill up. You don't know what
I
this
didn't
was
know there was a
about.
problem here because you didn't reach
did
out to me
because you just
as a
said
potential
that
future
you-
governor.
Oh, I have to. So every business owner now has
Yeah,
to reach
you-
out to
why
you.
didn't you call-
Oh, I
why
get
didn't you
it.
reach
That's
out
the
and
way
say,
it has
"Can
to
you
be.
help us?"
Because that wasn't the case with the Malloy administration. They reached out to us to see what
Well,
they could
he's the
do to help
governor.
us.
He's
So
the
can you help
governor.
us now?
I will when I'm governor. Yeah.
Oh, we have to wait.
Okay.
Well, I won't be governor until January. So.
But there is nothing you can do now. We have to wait until you become governor.
Right.
I'll tell that to 145 people.
Yeah. What, you have a suggestion for me? What do you think I could do?
Well, you're the
As
one
a
who's
private
running for
citizen?
office.
Yeah.
You're the one who's
came here.
Came here and took over this area. But it's not a public area, first of all. It's owned by a company. And the building you're talking about is behind you, not that.
Is this
It's right behind you.
Here's my concern, and I hope
Yeah.
that this is done soon.
Yeah.
We're running production. We have employees that are peeking over the fence, and there's a lot of talking about what's going on here. There's going to be a lot of speculation. My responsibility right now, along with these guys, is to make sure that these employees are safe while we run down our production, and this is a huge distraction. If you could take this somewhere else,
Well, I think
it
we're
would
pretty close
probably
to
help us all get back to work.
Exactly.
Appreciate that.
Exactly. Thank
Other
you.
questions?